Hey guys, Dr. Mike Deuce, MTFU Longevity, keeping it real all the time. I'm in the middle of taking my magnesium. Um, as you know, I don't rehearse these videos. I try to keep it real. I try to show you exactly what I do right now. I'm having a hard time going in the morning, and magnesium will hopefully help, as it's stated in the literature. I'm trying that for now. In any event, I want to talk about sleep. I've been reading from the bro science progenitors on the World Wide Web here how it's impossible to gain muscle and lose fat at the same time. Summer's coming. I mean, it's 50 degrees here today in Connecticut. What is it? June 4th. Better yet, Connecticut, they say. But even still, people are looking to get ripped, but they often sacrifice muscle in doing so and starve themselves or whatever it might be. But look, it can be done. I can tell you this right now, and it can be easily done. Now, let me qualify that. That assumes that you're already working really, really hard. What is hard to you? Listen, it's easy to fall into a rut and think you're working hard and kind of trail off, and all of a sudden, a couple of weeks or months or even a year passes and you're maybe going at 60%. You're going through the motions. I know that happens to me. For me to be going really, really hard, um, uh, I've got to be at about 90%. So make sure you're going really hard. And if you are, um, you can increase your muscle gain and your fat loss by getting adequate sleep because so few people do. Listen, when I had my practice years ago, I used to say no to happiness. I used to say no to relaxation. I used to self-flagellate. Unless I was working 16 hours a day and training 3 hours a day and sleeping 3 to 4, or maybe 5 hours occasionally per day, or literally going 2 days without sleeping sometimes. That's the only way I thought I was making progress. Maybe I looked okay, I was still training, but I certainly didn't make a lot of headway because, as you'll see in a couple seconds, if you're not sleeping or not even getting into something called REM sleep, um, you might as well just stay awake anyhow because your body's not repairing. Um, just for a moment to talk about testosterone, in the literature, there is conflict as to whether is it high body fat that causes low testosterone or low testosterone that causes high body fat. I say this to take care of that. Make sure you stay lean. Make sure you do everything you can to keep your testosterone at proper levels. But it is true that low levels of inadequate sleep or poor sleep, low quality sleep, will cause secretion of less testosterone, and you'll suffer low T, obesity, low T, whatever comes first, chicken or the egg type of thing. That's one thing. But even still, with proper sleep, truly relaxing sleep, you go through several sleep cycles, 3 to 4 to 5 times per night. Early on in those cycles, you go into REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. And that's where 60 to 75% of your human growth hormone, HGH, is secreted into your body. Now, if you're not even getting into that relaxed, deep phase of sleep, which a lot of people don't get into for a myriad of different reasons, well, then you're not secreting enough human growth hormone, and you're going to have low levels of that. And it's going to be very difficult to fire up your metabolism despite all the other things you might be doing. You could be doing everything right, your exercise, your nutrition, your supplementation, but a big part of it, I don't want to assign, a percentage as far as how important it is. I believe everything is 100% important. You see these guys who say, it's 80% in the kitchen, 20% in the gym. That's bullshit. Everything is 100%, to deviate for a moment. Everything is ironclad, hard ass, laser beam focus. That's what you need on every fucking thing that you do. I don't care if you're going to get the mail. I don't care if you're saying hello to the neighbor. I don't care what you're doing. Everything has to be 100% pure. Getting back to this, so you're going through these cycles. If you're not going through them, you're not secreting the human growth hormone. There was a study done, talk about circadian rhythms for a moment. If you go to bed at 11 every night and wake up at 7, and you do that all the time, your body, physiological response of the body expects that. You no longer need an alarm clock. You get tired at 11, you wake up at 7 every single day. That's a circadian rhythm, and the body thrives on regularity. your endocrine system is firing properly, you're secreting all the hormones on a regular basis, you know what to expect, and you can plug yourself into that and you can succeed. But the study that was done, they took a group of people and enclosed them in a structure where they were not subjected to daylight or nighttime. So they didn't know what time it was, so their circadian rhythms got screwed up, and they started sleeping and waking up at all different times. Now, when that rhythm is disrupted, that's another factor that affects the secretion of HGH, and in a deleterious way. You secrete much less. So again, if you're in the groove with your sleeping, you're going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time in general every single day, because the body thrives on regularity. Again, you want to keep that growth hormone high. I'm looking at a chart right here, which you can't see. Decline of HGH with age. Aging is a big factor. My age and up. I'm 54, but you look at this scale right here, HGH is pretty high up to and including your 30s. There's a precipitous drop after that, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, forget about it, really, really low. My father, for instance, when he was younger, maybe in his 40s, he was kind of a fat guy, and he would eat a lot. But hard worker, that's not the point here. But now that he's in his later 70s, he eats one meal a day, still very active, and he sleeps very little. And you find this with the older persons or elderly. In general, the elderly sleep very little. They sleep 3 to 5 hours a night in many cases, and they don't eat a lot. Yeah, and energy expenditure is understandably lower. And so they're not tiring themselves out, and they don't sleep as much. But there's a problem with that, because we already know, as discussed, less sleep, poor quality sleep, you're secreting less HGH, and in these elderly, chronically low levels of HGH, you're more likely to develop heart disease, obesity, diabetes, a host of other disorders. So obviously that's a problem. How do you keep that up in older people? That's an issue right there. Jacking up your HGH naturally. Hard exercise, proper nutrition, and good sleep. It doesn't sound very sexy or secretive or extraordinary, but that's all I got for you. Now, people ask about over-the-counter testosterone and HGH boosters. Boosters. Okay, let's look at that. Listen, I'm taking Denise for her birthday to the island of Capri in Italy. I need money. Send me your money. Send it to me. I'll do something for you. I've got some talents. But don't waste it on the crap that's sold. Those products are worthless. I've talked about things that I take to increase my testosterone naturally. Those are optimizers. It's a difference. That's a difference than boosting something. Optimizers optimize the physiologic climate in my body, so everything's equalized. So I can give my body the chance to healthfully and naturally keep my testosterone at proper levels. Boosting, well, let's talk about synthetic, either prescribed or illicit drugs. They work. That's not what I'm talking about here. Okay, I'm talking about the junk that's sold by these supplement companies, boosters. They're worthless. So that's just anything that's sold by anybody, shame on you, because you're ripping people off, and that stuff doesn't work. Finally, there is something to that magical, mystical thing that you hear about eating at night. I'm not talking about carbohydrates, something magical happens that's bad if you eat carbs at night. I'm talking about really processed sugars, candies, cereals, things with high sugar that will offer an insulin spike at night. Chronically high levels of insulin or blood sugar, which will cause insulin spike, concomitantly causes lower levels of human growth hormone if you're eating that stuff at night before you go to bed. So don't eat those things before you go to bed if you want to keep your HGH levels optimal. Try those things. I mean, if you're not sleeping and you're not feeling well rested when you're waking up, you're not giving yourself a chance to really get lean, and you're probably gonna have to keep your shirt on when you go to the beach this summer. So get on it. Dr. Mike Deuce, MTFU Longevity Over 50, www.mtfucoach.com, and I'll be back soon. Thank you.